The final nation to look at is Wales. We wouldn't be doing it properly if we didn't cover Wales as the Welsh Rugby Roundup show. Rian, what are we thinking about the Welsh about the Welsh regions? First of all, let's talk about your team, the Dragons. Encouraging signs over the past few months, good signings coming in. What is the realistic expectation for this season from the Dragons?
Well, they finished 5th last year in Conference A, and some of the new signings are really impressive. John Holmes, Nick Tompkins, and of course Dr. Jamie Roberts. And I know we've had a bit of offline chat about whether Jamie's too old, but I think he's one of these sort of linchpins and can manage a game. So I think that's a really positive signing for the Dragons. They've yet to fulfil the promise they've got on paper, and it was a bit worrying to see some of the creaking scrums in their first game. And as we said earlier, they did improve towards the end of the game, and hopefully they'll go forward. You know, you put Leinster, you can put the Leinster match to bed, but I would like to see them gel more as a team. I'm seeing lots of good individual plays. Moriarty took some big hits, but I just want to see them gel more as a team. So that's what I'm taking. And, Ashton Hewitt, sublime try, amazing guy.
Absolutely. He's done so much, not just for rugby, but for society, with everything that he's been talking about recently. And it's so important that conversation is had. Let's talk about the Ospreys quickly. I am aware of time. Ospreys, of course, a win, our first win. I couldn't believe it. We actually won. I couldn't believe it.
Say, you get your 7th last year, and we've already mentioned that was thanks to the South Africans. They can only go up. And what they've got to do at the moment now, though, is get their wins in while the international guys are still playing, because they lose a chunk of players once the international season comes. So they really need to be putting their, the scores on the doors and getting their points in now, because you're talking Anscombe, Alwyn Jones, Tips, Webb. They're all going to be in that Welsh squad, so probably off on international duty. So the important thing for the Ospreys is to keep up the momentum and just keep going the way they are. You've got to play every game, you've got to win every game, and again, there's some young players coming up. They need blooding, and hopefully, well, I can't see the Ospreys doing worse than they did last year. They look different, and I think hopefully they're refinding form.
Yeah, and I think the hope for us this season is to push for them playoffs. It might be a bit too soon, but I think we've got to aim for that. Cardiff Blues starting with a win. Josh Adams scoring tries as he always does. Exciting fly half to Jared Evans. What's the expectation this season?
The thing with the Blues is they're up and down, aren't they? They blow hot and cold. I think they've got the coach John Mullihill is probably the one, the coach has been there the longest now of the Welsh region. So hopefully he's bedded in, and the way he wants to play has started to make their mark. So hope he'll be hoping that they won't have the injuries they had last year, because I think if you look at their injury list from last year, they were missing some top players for a long time and large chunks of the season. They've signed Corey Hill and Reece Khan, and that's a real solid 2 additions. Nick Williams retiring means that they lack a big carrion now, although I have all faith in Navidi. I think he'll step up to the plate, and he's probably I believe that Josh is one of their best players anyway. And more than capable of hitting and carrying. So I'm quietly optimistic for the Blues, to be honest. I think that if they can keep, if the injuries, their injury list, they can keep that down, then they've got as good chance as any. They came sixth last year. I see them finishing higher than that this year.
Yeah, I absolutely do. Willis Halaholo is back from injury. I'm very, very briefly, let's chat about the Scarlets losing on the first day, but always been there or thereabouts. What can we expect from them?
They were third last year, and were the best Welsh region by far. And they'll be looking to build on this. Yeah, they lost to Munster, and that wasn't a particularly inspiring game. If Halfpenny hadn't been on the pitch, it would have been an absolute I think. So yeah, look out for Sam Castello. He shone in the under-20 Six Nations, and hopefully that he'll make his mark with the Scarlets this year. I think Scarlets will improve. I think they need a bit of a kick up there, Jaxie, and again, it's a bit like the Dragons. They need to just settle down and play as a team.